I died on a Tuesday night in the powder blue glow of a Denver emergency room. My brother's hand slipping the ring onto her finger, while the monitors flatlined like a bad joke. Betrayed by the two people I'd trusted most, my brother Jake and my best friend turned backstabbing fiancé stealer, Lila. I'd crashed my car into a guardrail on I-70. High on the painkillers they'd slipped me to keep me quiet about their dirty little secret. And just like that, the world went black. But death. Turns out it's not the end. It's a goddamn reset button. I woke up gasping in my old queen bed in our family ranch house outside Boulder. The alarm clock screaming 6:47 a.m. On the morning of Jake's engagement party, the very day it all started unraveling 3 years ago. My heart hammered like a jackrabbit on meth as I bolted upright, sheets tangled around my legs. The familiar scent of sagebrush and stale coffee hitting me like a freight train. This wasn't heaven or hell. This was my 28-year-old body. Pre-crash. Pre-betrayal. The one with the faint scar on my knee from that dumbass ski accident in Vail when I was 16. I stumbled to the mirror, and there she was, Kenzie Harlow, wide-eyed and alive. Her green eyes staring back with the fire I'd let them snuff out. "Holy shit," I whispered, touching my face, feeling the warmth of skin that shouldn't be breathing. The memories flooded in, the lies, the cover-ups, the way they'd framed me for embezzling from Dad's construction firm to bury their affair and steal the company out from under me. I'd been the loyal sister, the workhorse daughter, grinding through Harvard Business School on scholarships while Jake partied his way to an MBA from some podunk state school. And for what? To end up OD'd and wrecked on a mountainside, labeled the troubled addict in the obituary. I laughed, a sharp, bitter bark that echoed off the pine-paneled walls. This time, I wasn't playing the victim. This time, I'd burn their perfect little world to the ground before they could light the match. But first, coffee. Black. No sugar. Just like the revenge brewing in my veins. The house was quiet as I padded downstairs in my ratty UGGs. The wooden stairs creaking underfoot like they were whispering warnings. Mom and Dad had built this place back in the 90s. Back when Harlow Construction was just a scrappy outfit pouring foundations for strip malls in the Front Range. Now it was a multi-million-dollar empire, thanks to my sweat, nights crunching numbers, days sweet-talking investors, while Jake schmoozed at golf outings and Lila fluttered her lashes at board meetings. I poured a mug from the ancient mister. Coffee. The steam curling up like ghosts of deals past, and sank into the kitchen island stool. My phone buzzed on the granite countertop, a text from Lila. "Can't wait for tonight. You're gonna love the ring. Jake says it's bigger than your ego. Winking face dress cute. Sis." I stared at it, nausea twisting in my gut. In my first life, I'd forced a smile, showed up in that emerald green sheath dress that made me look like a knockoff Jade at Lowe, and toasted their happiness while they exchanged glances that screamed we got away with it. By midnight, I'd confronted them in the coat room. Lila's perfume, Chanel No. 5. Always the classic betrayer, cloying the air as she hissed. "You were always second best. Kenzie. Jake deserves better than your control freak bullshit." Jake had just nodded, eyes cold as Colorado steel. And that night, after one too many whiskeys they'd poured to celebrate, I'd driven home in a haze. The pills? They'd crushed them into my drink when I wasn't looking. The crash? No accident. The cover-up? A masterpiece of forged emails and planted evidence, painting me as the thief who drained the company's retirement fund to feed a habit. But not this time. I deleted the text, my thumb hovering over Jake's contact before I blocked him too. No more olive branches. No more chances. I had 3 years' worth of future knowledge in my arsenal. The offshore accounts they'd funneled money into. The falsified contracts with that sleazy developer in Vegas. The affair that started sophomore year of college when Lila accidentally hooked up with him at a frat party I threw. Dad's heart attack 6 months from now. Stress-induced. Courtesy of their boardroom coup. My suicide note? A forgery in Lila's elegant script. I sipped the coffee, scalding and bitter, and pulled up my laptop. Time to audit the books, quietly. As CFO, I had backdoor access they didn't know about. The kind I'd installed after Jake's first oops with the expense reports. Numbers danced across the screen. Discrepancies here. Ghost vendors there. By noon, I'd screenshot enough to sink the Titanic. But revenge wasn't just data dumps, it was personal. Jake's engagement party was at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. All crystal chandeliers and caviar dreams. With a guest list of Denver's elite senators. Tech bros. The works. I'd been the invisible help. The one fetching mimosas while they posed for Insta-perfect pics. Tonight, I'd ghosted. Skip the party, pack a bag, and head west to Aspen. Why Aspen? Because that's where Dad proposed to Mom on a whim during a ski weekend, where the family legend says Harlow Grit was born. And ironically, that's where Jake and Lila planned their honeymoon, booked it the week after my funeral. The bastards. I threw clothes into a duffel, jeans, thermals, my old Patagonia jacket with the frayed cuffs. No emerald dress, this was war attire. As I zipped the bag, the front door slammed, Mom home from her yoga class, humming some Fleetwood Mac tune. She breezed into the kitchen, silver-streaked ponytail swinging, her face lighting up like always. Morning. Sunshine. Big day. Your brother's popping the question officially tonight. You excited? In my first life. I'd hugged her. Lied through my teeth. Now, I set the mug down, forcing a casual grin. Actually, Mom. Change of plans. Got a last-minute audit glitch at the office. Might head up to the mountains for some air. Clear my head. She frowned, those worry lines deepening like cracks in dry earth. Kenzie, honey, you work too hard. Jake's counting on you being there. Family? You know, family. The word tasted like ash. Tell him congrats for me. Love you. I kissed her cheek, grabbed my keys, and bolted before the guilt could claw me back. The drive to I-70 was a blur of red rocks and radio static, Springsteen wailing about Born to Run ghosts. By the time I hit the Eisenhower Tunnel, the snow flurries starting to dust the windshield, I felt it, freedom, sharp as a switchblade. Aspen was 4 hours away, a glittering escape hatch. I'd hole up at the Little Nell, charge it to the company card. Hell, why not? Let them trace it later. The party text storm hit around Glenwood Springs. Jake first. Where the hell are you? Mom's freaking. Get your ass down here. Then Lila, playing games. Kenzie, this is bigger than your petty grudges. I turned off the phone, cranked the heat, and let the Rockies swallow me whole. By dusk, Aspen's fairy lights twinkled like fallen stars, the town buried in fresh powder. I checked into the hotel, the lobby roaring with log fire crackle and the clink of après-ski glasses. My room overlooked Ajax Mountain, the gondola lights tracing silver lines up the dark. I poured a bourbon from the minibar neat, no chasers, and toasted the mirror. To second chances. You sons of bitches. That night, I dreamed of the crash. Twisted metal. The acrid bite of burning rubber. Jake's voice on the news saying, she was struggling. We tried to help. I woke sweating. Dawn painting the room pink. Phase 1, reconnaissance. I hit the slopes early. Boards slicing virgin snow. The cold whipping clarity into my lungs. Aspen wasn't just pretty, it was power. Old money mingling with new. Whispers of deals in the base lodge. By lunch, I'd bumped into Harlan Voss, Dad's old poker buddy and a silent partner in the firm. Over fondue at the White House Tavern. I dropped casual bombs. Heard Jake's tying the knot. You going? Harlan's bushy brows knit. Wouldn't miss it. But between us,
Kiddo.
Those books look fishy lately. You seeing it too? I nodded, playing coy. Just tying up loose ends. By the time I skied off, I'd planted the seed. Harlan was connected, SEC whispers. IRS nods. Let him dig. I'd fan the flames. Back at the Nell. My phone, recharged and unblocked for intel, lit up with fallout. Jake's voicemails, rage. Then pleading. Kenzie, what the fuck? This is my night. Lila's Insta stories, her in a white lace gown. Jake's arm around her. Caption screaming blessed Harlow forever. No mention of the missing sister. Good. Let them stew. I booked a spa slot, hot stone massage to melt the tension knots, then hacked into the party RSVPs. Half the board was there. Toasting with Vuve. Perfect audience for the anonymous email I'd schedule for midnight. Attachments of their fraud. Subject line the real engagement gift. But as the masseuse's hands dug into my shoulders, doubt crept in like fog off the roaring fork. Was this enough? Exposing them would tank the company. Sure. Dad's legacy in ruins. Mom's retirement gone. Jobs lost. Lives upended. My decisions weren't clean. They were scorched earth. And part of me, the old Kenzie, whispered turn back. But the new one? She snarled fuck that. This was America. Baby land of second acts. Where the house always wins if you let it. Evening fell over Aspen like a velvet curtain. The town pulsing with holiday cheer that felt as fake as Lila's engagement smile. I'd spent the afternoon wandering the boutiques on Galena Street, Ursa Major Lotions. Crystal shops hawking healing quartz, buying nothing but time to plot. My burner laptop, picked up at a FedEx in Glenwood, hummed on the hotel desk. The email queued and ready. But I held off hitting send. Timing was everything. Let them bask in the glow a little longer. Instead, I suited up for dinner at Element 47, the Nell Steakhouse where power lunches turned into power naps. Harlan had texted, in town for the weekend.
Meet?
I replied with a yes, nerves buzzing like high-voltage lines. He was already there when I arrived, nursing a Macallan in a corner booth. His Stetson tipped back to reveal a face etched like Badlands. Kenzie girl, he boomed, pulling me into a bear hug that smelled of pipe tobacco and pine. You look like hell warmed over. What's eating you? We ordered ribeye for him, seared scallops for me, and I dove in, slow at first, then spilling like a busted dam. The affair, the pills, the crash. Not the death part, that was too Twilight Zone for Harlan, but the setup, the theft. His fork paused midair. Steak juices pooling. Jesus.
Kid.
Why didn't you say something sooner? I did, I said, voice cracking just enough to sell it.
To them.
And they buried me. He leaned back, whistling low. Jake's always been a slick one, charmed his way through more messes than a cat in a yarn factory. But Lila? That girl's got serpent eyes. Harlan was no fool. He'd lost a chunk of change in a deal Jake botched last year. Written off as market volatility.
Now.
With my docs in his inbox, emailed pre-dinner, I watched the gears turn. This could blow up the whole outfit. Your pop's name dragged through the mud. Dad, build it honest, I said, spearing a scallop. They'll destroy it. Unless we clip M first. He clinked his glass to mine, eyes gleaming. I know a guy at the DA's office. Denver white collar. Quiet inquiry. It was more than I'd hoped, vindication with a side of due process. But as we talked logistics, my phone vibrated. Jake. Found your card charge. Aspen? What the actual fuck? Kenzie? We're coming up. Tomorrow.
Panic spiked.
Hot and immediate. They'd track me, corner me in this snow globe town. I pocketed the phone, forcing a laugh for Harlan. Family drama. He snorted. Ain't it always? Listen, kid, don't go lone wolf. Call me if it gets ugly. We parted with a plan. He'd leak the docs to his contact by week's end. I floated back to my room on a buzz of purpose. But the high crashed when I saw the voicemails. Lila's voice. Syrup sweet poison. We know you're hurting.
Babe.
But running? That's not you.
Come home.
Let's talk. Jake's. Slurred from party whiskey. You owe me an explanation. This is betrayal. Kenzie. Real betrayal. Betrayal. The word ignited something feral. I paced the suite, carpet muffling my steps, the mountain view mocking me with its serenity. In my first life, I'd folded, apologized, internalized their gaslighting until I believed I was the problem. The embezzler, the jealous sister, the burnout exec who couldn't hack it. They'd even sold my crash as karma, whispering to Mom that I'd confessed to stealing before the accident. She'd crumbled, dosed on grief meds, while they swooped in as the stable heirs. No more. I fired off the email, midnight Eastern, hitting inboxes as they slept off the champagne. Dearest Harlow Elite. It read. While you toast love and legacy, here's the truth. Jake and Lila have been siphoning funds for 2 years. See attached.
Consider this my RSVP. Screenshots.
Ledgers. Timestamps. CC'd to the board. The family lawyer. And petty, but satisfying, Lila's Instagram famous aunt. Sleep came fitful, haunted by what-ifs. What if they lawyered up fast? What if Dad found out and it broke him? Dawn brought a blizzard. Fat flakes blurring the peaks.
Trapping me in.
I hit the hotel gym, pounding the treadmill like it was Jake's face. Sweat stinging my eyes. By 10, the replies trickled in, board members shocked emoji NG. The lawyer demanding a call. Then Jake, you crazy bitch. We're on our way. This ends now. They arrived at noon, tires crunching snow in the valet circle below my window. I watched from the 7th floor perch, Jake's black Escalade. Lila bundled in cashmere, her blonde waves peeking from a beanie. She looked smaller in real time, less the villain, more the sorority girl who'd borrowed my notes and never returned them. Jake stormed the lobby, barking at the concierge. I could hear the echo. Fight or flight. I chose neither. Ambush. I met them in the Pine Street lounge, fire crackling in the massive stone hearth, the air thick with espresso and entitlement. Jake spotted me first, striding over in his North Face jacket, face thundercloud red. What the hell is this? Kenzie? You tank my engagement? Our future. Lila trailed, eyes wide with practiced hurt. We were worried.
This
This is insane. Those files hacked? Forged? I sipped my latte, legs crossed on the leather armchair, channeling every boardroom shark I'd ever faced. Insane? That's rich. Coming from the two who drugged their own sister to cover a heist. Heads turned, whispers from the ski-bum crowd. Jake flushed deeper, glancing around. Keep your voice down. You're delusional. That crash? You were wasted. Kenzie. We tried to save you. The lie landed like a slap. But I saw the flicker, guilt in his eyes. The same one I'd caught in the ER as he signed the organ donor forms. Save me? You killed me. The words hung, raw and reckless. Lila gasped theatrically, hand to her throat. Killed?
God.
You're scaring me. Maybe we should get you help. Help like the pills you slipped in my drink. I leaned forward, voice low venom. Or the emails you backdated to make me the fall guy. I know everything. Lila. The Vegas slush fund. The consulting fees to your daddy's firm. Jake's not even good at hiding it. Same password as his fantasy football league. Jake's jaw clenched, fists balling. You don't get it. Dad was tanking the company, old school. No vision. We were saving it. For all of us. For you, I shot back. I built it. I bled for it. And you fucked my best friend behind my back. Then framed me to steal it. The lounge hushed, a waitress hovered. Unsure. Lila's mask cracked, tears welling. But I knew the playbook. Kenzie, please. This isn't you. You're better than this. Better? I stood, towering in my boots. I died because of you. And now, I'm back. And I'm done playing nice. I tossed my latte cup on the table, foam sloshing like spilled secrets, and walked out. Their shouts chased me. Kenzie, wait. But the elevator doors sealed the silence. Upstairs, adrenaline crashed into sobs. I'd gone nuclear. Public. Messy. American as apple pie and tabloid scandals. But as I packed, finalizing the escape to a cabin Harlan recommended off Independence Pass, the doubt gnawed deeper. Was revenge just trading one poison for another? Mom's call came as I loaded the car. Baby? What's happening? The news, emails? Jake's furious. Her voice broke. And mine did too.
Mom.
They lied. All of it.
A pause.
Then, I believe you.
Come home.
We'll fix this. But home was gone. I drove into the storm, wipers slashing fury, Aspen shrinking in the rearview. Phase 2, disappear. Let the dominoes fall. Little did I know, the biggest twist was barreling down the pass toward me. The cabin Harlan hooked me up with was a relic, log walls, stone fireplace, a view of maroon bells that could have starred in a Patagonia ad. Tucked off Highway 82. It was off-grid enough for ghosts but close enough for a quick exit if the feds, or worse, Jake, came knocking. I'd arrived at dusk, the blizzard easing into a sly sleet that painted the Aspen silver. Inside, I built a fire with hands that shook from cold and caffeine, the crackle drowning out the echo of Mom's voice. We'll fix this. But fixes in the Harlow world meant lawyers and NDAs. Not truth. Truth was the enemy. It had killed me once. I uncorked a bottle of Napa Cap from the pantry, Harlan's touch, and scrolled the fallout on my burner. The email had detonated, board in uproar. Stock dipping in after-hours whispers. Local news pickup. Harlow Construction heirs engagement marred by fraud allegations. Lila's aunt had quote-tweeted it with a face screaming in fear. Her followers piling on. Jake's LinkedIn? Crickets.
Good.
Let the silence choke him. But sleep evaded, chased by memories unspooled like 8mm film. Flashback to college, me and Lila, roomies at CU Boulder, cramming for finals over cheap tequila, promising forever. Jake visiting weekends, the golden boy with his easy grin and trust fund swagger. I dated him first, 2 years of ski dates and lake picnics, before amicably breaking it off when he said he wasn't ready. Then Lila swooped, just friends helping him through, and poof, engaged within months. I'd swallowed it, thrown the bridal shower, even picked the venue. Blind, stupid loyalty. Deeper cut, the secret they'd buried. Not just the affair, the murder. Dad's firm had a side hustle. Off books. Pouring concrete for a shady casino developer in Black Hawk. Jake wanted out. Clean, the developer didn't. Threats escalated. Slashed tires. Anonymous calls. One night, Jake confessed to me over beers in the garage. They're gonna hurt us. Kenzie. I dug in. Found the ledgers. Confronted the suits. They backed off, temporarily. But Jake? He panicked. Cut a deal. Hand over the dirty contracts. Frame the whistleblower.
Me.
Lila typed the confession email from my account. Jake planted the drug buys on my credit cards. The crash was cleanup, ensure I couldn't talk. I hurled the wine glass into the fire. Shards exploding like fireworks. Enough wallowing. Dawn meant action. Drive to Basalt. Meet Harlan's DA, contact incognito at a dive called the Shotgun. Coffee black. Nerves steel. The guy, Tom Reyes, mid-40s, ex-army with a mustache like a broom bristle, slid into the booth smelling of aftershave and skepticism. Harlan says you're legit. Show me. I slid the thumb drive across the Formica. Everything. Transfers. Timestamps. Voicemails where Jake jokes about silencing the noise. Reyes plugged it into his laptop. Eyes narrowing as files bloomed. This is felony territory. Wire fraud. Conspiracy.
But why you?
Sibling rivalry. Worse, I said, stirring sugar into sludge. They killed my career. My family. Half-truth. The death stayed buried. He nodded, scribbling notes. We'll need your testimony. Protected. Of course. But it's a process, warrants. Depositions. You okay going public?
Public.
The word clawed. In my first life, I'd craved anonymity. Faded into the crash's shadow.
Now, do it.
Nail him. He left with the drive, promising movement by Friday. I drove back through sun-dappled canyons, radio blasting Taylor Swift's revenge anthems, ironic,
Cathartic.
The cabin welcomed with quiet menace, a text from an unknown number. We know where you are.
Talk.
Or, we come get you.
Jake.
Or Lila. Or the developer. Loose ends fraying.
Panic? Nah.
Preparation. I barricaded the door. Loaded the old Remington Dad kept in the closet, rusted but functional, and paced till nightfall. That's when the twist hit. Not with sirens, but a knock. Soft. Hesitant. I gripped the shotgun, peered through the peephole. Mom. Snow-dusted parka. Face pale as moonlight. Mom. I yanked the door,
Pulling her in.
She collapsed into the Adirondack chair, shivering.
Kenzie.
Oh God. Tears carved tracks down her cheeks. I drove all night. The news, it's everywhere. Jake called, screaming you're lying, that you're unstable. But I saw the files. Your father. He left something for you. She fumbled in her bag, producing a USB brass key fob attached, engraved KH. Before his heart attack, he suspected. Hid backups. Said if anything happened to you, this was your insurance. My hands trembled as I plugged it in. More docs. But damning. Recordings of Jake's calls to the developer. Lila's voice cooing. We'll handle Kenzie. She's family. She'll fold. Mom clutched my arm. Why didn't you tell me sooner? You wouldn't believe, I whispered. They made me the villain. She sobbed. And I held her, the fire popping like accusations. We talked till dawn, her guilt over enabling Jake's golden child BS. My rage at the years lost. But comfort fractured when headlights pierced the dark. 2 sets. Escalades. Circling the drive like wolves. Hide, I hissed, shoving her toward the bedroom. The knock boomed, Jake's voice. Amplified. Kenzie, open up. We need to end this bullshit. Lila's trill. For Mom's sake. Please. Mom emerged, straightening. Let me. Her voice steel. First time I'd heard it since Dad's funeral. She cracked the door.
Boys.
Lila. Inside.
Now.
They piled in, snow shedding like alibis. Jake first, eyes wild, reeking of bourbon. Mom, what the, Kenzie? You dragged her into this.
Shut it, Mom snapped.
Unheard of. Lila hovered, faux concerned. Mrs.
Ash.
We just want to help. Help. Mom brandished the USB. Like you helped my daughter into a grave? The room iced over.
Jake blanched.
What are you? I know, Mom said, voice quake-free. All of it. The lies. The money. The crash. You're done. Jacob. He lunged for the drive. I stepped between. Remington loose in my grip, not aimed, but visible. Touch it, and you're looking at resisting arrest. Lila whimpered. This is crazy. We're family. Family doesn't murder, I said, calm as the grave I'd clawed from. Jake's face twisted, rage to realization.
You.
You can't prove.
Oh.
But I can. Sirens wailed distant. Closing. Bayaz. Fast-tracking. Jake bolted for the door. I didn't stop him. Let him run. Cowards always trip. Mom sagged against me as blue lights flooded the yard. I'm proud of you.
Baby.
Finally. But as cuffs clicked on Lila, sobbing denials, and Jake was dragged from his hiding spot in the woods, the real twist sank in. The developer, watching from the shadows, wasn't done. His call came at dawn. Post-arrest. Miss Harlow? We need to chat. About that casino pour. The interrogation room at the Pitkin County Sheriff's Office smelled like stale Joe and regret. Fluorescent buzz drilling into my skull. I'd been there 6 hours, post-arrest processing. Mom in the lobby lawyering up with Harlan's firm. Jake and Lila, separate cells, singing like canaries to cut deals. But me, clean.
For now.
Reyes paced outside the glass, nodding as I recounted the cabin standoff. You did good.
Kenzie.
Developers next, we got warrants rolling. I nodded.
Numb.
The USB had cracked it wide. Not just fraud, but coercion. Attempted murder wrapped in concrete contracts. The casino? A front for money laundering. Jake's vision dipping toes in mob waters. Dad had sniffed it. Tried to pull out, hence the threats. My crash was message one, my silence. The goal. But the call from the developer, Victor Kane, silver fox with a Vegas tan and a rap sheet longer than the strip, lingered like bad whiskey.
Chat.
As if this was brunch. Not a blood feud. They released me at noon. Snow sun melting into slush. Mom waited in her Subaru. Eyes red-rimmed but fierce. Harlan's got a plane. Denver. Then safe house till it's over. No, I said, sliding in. Aspen. Finish it here. She searched my face, then nodded. Stubborn as your father. We drove in silence. Radio murmuring NPR scandals, fitting soundtrack. The knell loomed, a beacon of unfinished business. Harlan met us in the lobby, mustache twitching. Kane's holed up at the ST. Regis. Thinks he can intimidate. DA's got bugs. We play bait.
Bait.
My specialty. I showered off the jail grime. Emerged in black jeans and a turtleneck, armor for the apocalypse. Dinner was recon, element 47 again, this time with eyes on Kane's table. He was there. Solo. Nursing scotch. Phone glued to ear. Mid-40s charm offensive, tailored suit. Laugh like gravel in a tumbler. Our eyes met across the room. He smiled. Wolfish. And beckoned a server. Minutes later, my waiter dropped a napkin, balcony. Midnight. Come alone. Mom gripped my hand under the table. Don't. I have to. Closure wasn't optional. It was the American dream. Face your demons. Guns blazing. Midnight found me on the ST. Regis balcony. Aspen twinkling below like a corrupt jewel box. Wind bit through my coat. But Kane was bundled. Cigar glowing ember red. Miss Harlow. Dramatic. Isn't it? Your brother's quite the messmaker. Understatement, I said, leaning on the rail. What do you want? He puffed. Smoke curling dragon-like. Plausible deniability. Jake promised discretion, you complicated it. Walk away. The charges evaporate. Firm's yours. Temptation slithered, easy out. Legacy intact. But his eyes? Dead fish. Like the ones that watch me die. And the crash? That evaporates too. A shrug. Accidents happen. Sign here. He slid a folder over the wrought iron table. NDA. Gag order. The works. I flipped it open. Scanned the fine print. Then laughed. Low and lethal. You think I'm the mark? Jake sold you out hours ago. Tapes. Transfers everything. You're done. Victor. His face hardened. Cigar dropping ash. Bluff. Test me. I tapped my phone, live feed to Reyes, recording every word. He lunged, hand snaking for my throat. I sidestepped, knee driving into his gut. He wheezed.
Doubling.
Bitch. Patriarchal much? Security swarmed, Harlan's tip-off, cuffing him as he spat curses. You'll regret this. Harlow. Already did once, I muttered, watching them haul him away. Downstairs. The lobby erupted, feds swarming. Mom hugging me fierce. It's over.
Was it?
Dawn broke, clear. Ajax calling. I skied solo. Powder hugging my edges. The mountain absolving sins. Jake copped to conspiracy, 10 years. Minimum. Lila? 5. With time served for cooperation.
Kane?
Facing Rico. Vegas empire crumbling. The firm? Rebuilt under me and Mom. Leaner. Honest bidding on green builds. Solar farms. Dad's ghost approved. I like to think. But the twist, the real gut punch, came weeks later. Denver courthouse steps.
Jake.
Orange jumpsuit gaunt. Pulled me aside pre-sentencing.
Kenzie.
I didn't want the crash. Lila pushed. Said you'd forgive. Like always. Forgive. Wind whipped my hair. Reporters hovered. You killed our family. Tears, real ones, tracked his cheeks. I know. But you're the strong one.
Save it?
For Dad. I walked away. No backward glance. Strong? Maybe. But mercy's a luxury for the living.
Aspen taught me that. Now.
6 months on. I'm back, CEO Kenzie Harlow. Toasting partners at the Little Nell. Mom's dating Harlan, Whodathunk. The slopes are my therapy. No ring on my finger. But freedom's better. Jake writes from Supermax apologies.
Please.
I delete them unread. Second chances? Earned. Not given. And if I wake some nights, tasting rubber and regret, I remind myself, I turn the tables. And damn, it feels good.